Hello, I'm Saddam and I'm one of the co-founders of Builderkit. So in this video today, I'll show you a step-by-step process on how to run and configure the music generator app provided by Builderkit. So first of all, let's go to the documentation provided by Builderkit and then select music generator. Make sure that you already have access to the Pro GitHub repository of Builderkit. Otherwise, you'll not be able to download this project. So I'll select this command, go to terminal, switch to desktop directory where I want to store my project, and I'll paste this command and keep the name of the project as music generator. So it will take few seconds to download this project from a GitHub repository to my local system. As you can see here, the project has been downloaded in the desktop folder. So I can close the terminal and open the project in Cursor. You can use other editors like VS Code or whatever is preferable for you. And here you can see the default branch is main branch, but we need to switch to music generator branch to be able to use the app, music generator app. So let's run this command, and here you can see our branch has been changed to music generator. Next, we need to install the required packages or dependencies for this project to run this application. So I'll use pnpm install. So you can use npm or pnpm, whatever is convenient or whatever is useful for you or whatever you prefer to use. Okay, and then we need to run this command to create a .env.local file where we will use our save our environment variables. So as you can see, if we have to configure these environment variables file. So since we are running the app locally, so I'll keep the URL as localhost. The app will run on default port 3000, and I would like to use meta model from replicate for the music generation. Okay, we also need a Superbase storage bucket so that the generated musics can be stored in that bucket, in that Superbase storage. So let's follow the steps here. Let's go to Superbase documentation setup, and here click on create Superbase storage. And here there are step-by-step process that we need to go to this storage URL. I'll select the project Builderkit tutorial, and then I have to create a new bucket. Here I'll name it music and click on save. Once the bucket is created, now we have to configure the policies, RLS policy for this storage bucket. Click on new policy and click on full customization, where I'll select and insert option and keep the name as public. So I'll click on review and save policy. So this, whatever I have just done, is explained step by step here, so you can go through the documentation as well. Once you are done with this configuration, we're good to configure the environment variable here. So I'll name it as music generation, and I'll set up the rest of the environment variables. Now that the environment variable setup is done, we'll move forward for the next steps. Now we have to set up the Superbase. So first we have to create a table music generations. So I'll copy this SQL script and go to SQL editor and paste it here. So I'll hit run, and it will just create a table in my Superbase table. So here you can see there is this project called this table called music generations. We also need users table for this project, but since it is already created during multi-LLM ChatGPT and content writer tutorial, so you don't need to create it again. So one users table is enough for all of these projects, so we don't need to create it again and again and repeat those steps. So after that, we need to sync our Superbase types. So whatever Superbase tables we have created, we need to sync those changes and newly created tables in our project. So I'll click in the documentation link, and here you can see it is saying to log in and initialize Superbase. But again, since we have done once for our first project setup, we don't need to repeat this step again, since these are a global configuration. We just need to run this command to sync those tables to our music generator project. So I'll run this command, but before that I'll just need to change the project ID. So here, if you go to this Superbase project, in the URL following this project, there is this code, and this is the project ID. So I just enter the project ID and hit enter. So it will sync all the tables. If I go to src types and superbase.types, I can see the music generations table has been added in this Superbase table. Now that all the configurations are done, we are good to go to run this app. Since I'm using PNPM package manager, so I'll use PNPM run dev to run this project. So as you can see here, the server is running on localhost 3000. So let's go and test it out. Yeah, so our app is now live, but we need to do one more configuration. Since the responses of this music generation from Replicate will be handled through webhook, so you need to configure a public URL. That public URL will redirect all the requests from Replicate to our localhost 3000. Since Replicate can't directly call the localhost 3000 URL. So for that, we will go to this documentation mentioned here, or you can go to this blog by Builderkit and learn every detailed step-by-step process on what is webhook, how to create a public URL, and how to test the webhook through this public URL locally. So yeah, let's open the terminal and create a public URL using ngrok. So I'll run this command ngrok http 3000. So it will give me a temporary public URL, and this URL will redirect all the requests from Replicate to localhost 3000. You can either test the app through this URL, or you can go to the localhost 3000 as well. It's the same thing. So we just need to configure this in the code for testing purpose. Here, yeah. So here, for testing, just comment out this line and add a line called const origin and replace it with this URL. Okay, so this public URL will act as the server for us now, which will redirect all the responses to our localhost 3000. So now we are good to go for testing. So if you click on get started button, it will take us to the dashboard of music generator app. So yeah, as you can see, we are inside the music generator app dashboard. Now I can test it out. Let's give some kind of prompt like peace, okay, calm, soft, jazz music. I don't have much idea about music, so I am just giving random jargons. I'll select jazz, happy mood, calm, and let's keep it 10 seconds so we get the response faster. So I'll hit generate. It will take few seconds, and you can see the generation had started, and then we will get the response from the Replicate through webhook URL, as I have explained earlier. So yeah, as you can see, we have received the generated music, and I can play this as well, but I'm not sure it will be audible to you. Yeah, so that is it. So you can also download this one. You can also download this music, and you can play locally, share it with your friends, whatever you want. You can go to this my music page, where you can find all the previously generated musics